Hi everyone, this is Chef Prue. Thought it'd be good to walk you through what we mean when we say LTHS 1.1 reasoning motor real super reality. The heck is that? I figure let's walk you through it and through a demo. I've also asked heroes Walt, Steve, and Nikola Tesla to join me on this presentation and demonstration. Okay, let's begin by what is real super reality? Well, real super reality is as simple as this. It's when we make imaginary equal real, period. Something that didn't exist today, we now make it real. And that now is super reality. It's more than what we were used to, and it's really real. And that's real super reality. That's why it's real super reality and not just super reality. How do we make the imaginary real? As easy as that sounds, our minds don't just accept that. We can't just, just accept that and just operate with that. We need to connect this thing to reality, to reason, to what we see around us. So we do that through intelligent reasoning based on scientific observations and discovery, aided by all the latest technologies, which is exactly what LTHS 1.1 reasoning motor is. It does all that for us with over 100 scientific papers to back it up. Real super reality is nothing new to us. If this were the early 1900s, we'd be experiencing real super reality with the introduction of electromagnetism, which was all the rage back then. And that was super reality, real super reality for them back then. It's an everyday convenience now for us, but back then it was really something. This time, the new energy isn't electricity, it's story. An infinite, green, supremely powerful, and free story. A real super reality story. You want to see the power of story? Look at the power of story right now that's going on all over the world over the abusive death of a person of color by our police force. The story named George Floyd. That's a story, and you can see the power of a story. There are other stories all around us. This story energy now can be harnessed and put to incredible use, safe use, just like electricity, which had to be made safe through engineering. Now let's go through and define what we mean by entertainment, escapes, and experiences. Well, real super reality entertainment just simply means you're enjoying the content. LTHS 1.1 content, it's nice content, it's rich content, it's positive, it's harmonious, keeps you in a good mood, protects you from all sorts of negative vibes. So you listen to it, watch it, enjoy it, but without using the LTHS 1.1 reasoning motor for whatever the reason. But you still get a benefit. Now, super reality escapes, real super reality escapes, that's different. You're using the LTHS 1.1 reasoning motor, at least for that little escape, and you're placing your imagination into real mode as you experience the story you're experiencing. This is a very real, very different experience, and we're going to demonstrate that for you today. And then you've got the real super reality experiences. This is the experience where you take LTHS 1.1 reasoning motor and you apply it to your daily life, and you make your daily imaginary life real, 1 hour, 1 minute, 1 day, 1 year at a time, and you allow the imaginary to become manifest into real on earth through you, which is exactly what we're doing with this entire Paradise Story venture. Paradise Earth Resort, Harmonic Paradise Studios, Chef-Proof Paradise Story. We're applying LTHS 1.1 reasoning motor to reality and changing our reality. Now let's demonstrate, just the same way hero Nikola Tesla might have done back in the early 1900s, to stages of amazed fans as they watch the marvel of electricity. Let's watch the marvel of story energy. All right, well, here's phase one of story energy, where nothing is combined. You've got an art story on a piece of paper that's just done in ink and watercolor. You've got a word story written on paper. In this case, it's soft version, and you've got a music story that's recorded audio. Everything's separate. Nothing's combined, and you've got each one delivers an experience. Your total experience is the sum of each of those, and the value is the perceived value to each of those. That's what's happening every day on all over the world on Instagram, and it produces basically that experience, whatever that is, and that value, which is probably not the value that's needed for people to open up their wallets and spend above and beyond their internet service, because they're getting everything else for free. Next, you've got phase one, where you combine art with story. Here we're not combining that art there, but we're combining it with a story. The stories that are hot in the cell are the stories of some great Renaissance master. By the way, we're entering a new Renaissance, and this is art from one of the pioneers of this new Renaissance. FYI, investment opportunity, right? Okay, so Renaissance art stories are hot. Stories of artists that are collected by other important collectors or museums. Those stories make the art hot. Or stories of auctions and high prices, like the Salvator Mundi, for instance, of $400 and something million. And an entire global art market is operating right now on phase one. Same thing goes for music, music with a story. And again, the stories that are really selling, young, attractive, talented artists. But there's lots of these. But you got these ones that are filling the stadiums and that have all the marketing behind the exposure. And so these are the stories that move that music and that command its prices, whatever prices you might pay for a concert, for instance, or let's call it recorded. Well, let's leave the concerts for the next phase. But recorded music, an album, maybe a subscription to Pandora, these sorts of things, download from Apple Music, something like that. Now you got next phase two, where you combine art, music, and story together. This is where Hollywood is today. This is where live sports, the NFL, the Super Bowl, live concerts, Broadway, Hamilton, these are phase two types of entertainment, advanced versions of them. But what you see here is now you see the total experience being the sum of the art, the music, and the story all together, but with a pop. By the way, I forgot to mention in the prior that we saw a pop when we saw the experience and value on these. Both the music or the art combined with the story together create a pop, take it to another orbit, and it's represented here as the squaring of these. And not only do we have a squaring of the experience, but we have a squaring of the value, what people are willing to pay for that experience. Now we took it to the next level by adding all three, art, music, and story. It's where Hollywood is and whatnot. And we see another squaring of the experience. It's not just the sum of the art, the music, and the story, but it's also something magical that pops when you combine those three things. Now, let's just try this demo here real quick. All right, so we have this art. Okay, nice, yeah. We have a random story. Let me read you a story here. Bamboo gods at play. A laborer is at a bamboo farm along a magical tiny river with flirty otters, beavers, turkeys, owls, and bees, when one day he discovers the bamboo he's been caring for is actually Hero Confucius, Kung Ho himself, who's been feeding and protecting him without his realizing it until just then. The following year is spent with Hero Confucius teaching him all the secrets of our universe while disguised as bamboo. It's a nice story, but it's worth whatever it is a little paragraph written there. There's still a lot of work to be done to do something with this. Now let's try combining all of these. Think of this demo now as the equivalent of what silent movies might have been way back at the start of where we are today in movies, with all of the Pixar and the computer-aided special effects. But this would be a silent movie version of all of this. Bamboo gods at play. A laborer is at a magical bamboo farm along a magical tiny river with flirty otters, beavers, turkeys, owls, and bees when one day he discovers the bamboo he's been caring for is Hero Confucius, Kung Ho himself, who's been feeding and protecting him without his realizing it until just then. The following year is spent with Hero Confucius teaching him all the secrets of our universe while disguised as bamboo. Yeah, it works. Combining the art, the story, the soundtrack, there's another pop, and it's reflected in this. It's the sum of all three and a pop on top of that. And the value we're willing to pay for it. The value we're willing to pay for a concert. The value we're willing to pay for a Broadway ticket or a Super Bowl ticket or to go watch a movie at the cinema or to get a subscription from Netflix. There's value here. People open their wallets at this point in time. And if they open their wallets there, they really open their wallets for Phase 3 entertainment. This is the real deal. This is not just art, music, and soundtrack, but add fantasy. Or add the outdoors to this. And now we see not just the sum of these collective things, but a pop on top of that. Disneyland, Burning Man, Comic-Con, Coachella music festivals, any kind of outdoor adventure. These are all versions of this. This is the home run. This is Vacation Wonderland. And big money is spent on Phase 3 type of entertainment today. And now things get really interesting because now we're going to apply LTHS reasoning motor to the whole mix. And we do this using, first of all, our Hero Will Shakespeare LTHS 1.1 reasoning motor theater that helps us lay everything out so that we can actually peel back and stay aware of all the stories that are in play in our everyday life. Whoa. That combined with the reasoning motor making imaginary equal real, that delivers yet another pop to our imaginary experience by just being able to place our imaginations through thought and transform those into a real experience and allow our bodies to now respond with the real experience mode and layering in a new rich layer of emotional experiences to our daily life. Let's load this in with our example that we've been demoing. But now we are using LTHS 1.1 and we're going to use our minds to park in the imaginary equal real domain. Let's try this. Bamboo Gods at Play, a Paradise Earth Resort art music story. Using LTHS 1.1 reasoning motor, imagine yourself working as a laborer at a magical bamboo farm along a magical tiny river filled with flirty otters, beavers, turkeys, owls, and bees, when one day you discover that the bamboo you've been caring for is actually Hero Confucius, Kung Ho himself, who's been feeding and protecting you without realizing it until just then. The following year you spend it with Hero Confucius, teaching you all the secrets of the universe while disguised as bamboo. LTHS 1.1 reasoning motor moves us into the imaginary world now. Just using our bodies to host and to inject life energy into the imaginary world. We were there, and now we experience it fully. We tune out our minds and let the scene play out on its own and just experience it and observe it and enjoy it. The otters, the bees, the bamboo, the learnings, Confucius. I can almost smell it. Nice. That produced an effect on me just now. Now, we take it to the next level. And believe it or not, we are live at this phase 5 level as well. We take LTHS 1.1 reasoning motor, and then we apply a fantastical story to it. What story? A fantastical story like Paradise Story, Paradise Earth Resort Story, and chilling and smoking a bowl with Leo over coffee and water and talking, chewing the fat about the universe and LTHS 1.1. Those kind of stories parked into imaginary equal real and allowing ourselves to live it on top of that. Now we're really talking. So now we've entered the domain of real super reality with tremendous new experiences, with tremendous increase in perceived value to these, way beyond the perceived values around something like a fantastical Disneyland or Burning Man experience. We've gone two exponents beyond that. And applying it into everyday life, like I'm doing right now to build LTHS 1.1, Harmonic Paradise Studios, and Paradise Earth Resort, double that, exponent to that. And we're now talking about a 64, to the power of 64 experience. That is what I experience each day as I create this fantastical new world in my everyday life. Welcome to the new world of expanding consciousness and stories. And the power of story energy. All of this is going into a hummingbird feeder strategy, a hummingbird feeder story, if you will. Build it, fill it with nectar, and they will come. And LTHS1 reasoning motor is the nectar and the potential audience of 3 billion social media hummingbirds. Because this needs no special apps. Anyone with a social media account can immediately take advantage of super reality, real super reality experiences without spending a dime, because all of this is free, unlimited, green, good for the planet, good for users, good for their well-being, making it a really attractive nectar.